Welcome back to London Live News. Now we turn our attention to the issue of mortgages and the cost facing thousands of Londoners. Last week it was announced, as the Bank of England base rate continues to go up, that the average fixed rate 2-year mortgage has now increased to more than 6%. Whilst house prices are falling dramatically at the same time in the capital, we spoke to Matt Dronfield from the London-based advice helpline and website Debt Free Advice on the worrying amount of calls his organisation has received in the last few months.
So many people are really worried right now. The average rate for a 5-year mortgage has now stood at 6.01%, and the average fixed deal coming up is 6.47%. For those with buy-to-let mortgages, it's even higher, with average rates increasing to 6.63% for 2 years and 6.48% for 5 years. What that means in practice is that the average UK monthly mortgage repayment of £759, and for more than 400,000 people, they're going to see their existing fixed deals ends between July and September this year, many facing the prospect of having to budget for monthly repayments that are hundreds of pounds more expensive than they've been accustomed to over the last few years. So yes, for many people that either own their own homes or are renting and worried about their rents going up from their landlords, this is a really concerning time.
I think everyone can relate to this, whether you're going through it yourself or whether, you've spoken to a friend or a colleague about this. Hearing that people are going to have sort of £500, £600 less a disposable income at a time where we're already struggling with a cost of living crisis. Is this something that we now need to consider as, the new normal, or is there any respite? Do you see the market changing in the near future?
Unfortunately, all indications to see these interest rates increasing further as we go through the year. And you're right, it is really concerning for so many people. Like, mortgage rates are really heavily influencing rents, and there's no planned support for private renters. The average UK tenant now spends more than 28% of their pay packet each month before tax on rent, and it means people are spending more wages on rent than any time in the last 10 years. In fact, 1 in 5 of our clients at Debt Free Advice rent in the private sector, and that's the biggest increase we have seen in the number of customers coming to us. And our service has seen a 60% increase in the number of inquiries just this year alone.
So you're getting a lot more phone calls, and I imagine a lot more people worried about what they can do. What kind of advice have you been offering most lately?
So the advice, as ever, is to seek independent expert advice as soon as possible. Our team at Debt Free Advice provide free and impartial advice 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. What we can do is work through your budget, negotiate on your behalf with your creditors. The government and banks have put out support schemes out there. It's not as far as we would like them to go, but there is some hope there. So you can switch from capital repayments to interest-only payments on your mortgage at no penalty to you at all. You can also work with your bank if it's an emergency to go on a payment holiday. If you're concerned about speaking to your bank, and so many people would be concerned, right? Please do seek our free advice, and we can do that on your behalf and talk you through those steps.
The government is, to a certain extent, doing a couple of things to help. No home is going to be repossessed within 12 months of someone missing their first payment, and lenders have also agreed that customers can sort of go and get advice without it affecting their credit score, and so people can come for advice. But is that enough? Do you feel like the government needs to step in and step up and do more, or do you feel like their hands are tied and there's not much else they can do?
So no, it's not enough. It's good that you can switch to an interest-only payment or take a break without any penalties. However, that's just going to extend your debt, your mortgage, for a longer period of time. Actually, over the length of your mortgage, you're still going to end up paying more, which is a concern. There's also no protections for people in the rental markets. And as I said earlier, people that are renting, they're going to see their rents increase. We've got customers coming to us, and I've got friends myself that see their monthly rental going up by £600 a month in their most recent renewals. That's unaffordable, and there is no protections in place to stop that from happening. So more still needs to be done.
Matt Dronfield there from Debt Free Advice.